Hjälp oss med magnifying to frog galliard. Good morning, my friends, and happy Thursday to you. I hope that your week has gone according to your plan and that you have energies and emotional states that are promoting your well-being. Before I get started today, I want to call out and thank New Reality TV, a wonderful platform that I think you'll very much enjoy. Check them out, newrealitytv.com. I also want to call out my other wonderful friends, including, that's not on the list, wonderful friends with a beautiful collection of cultural understandings, and that's at norseimports.com. So check them out as well. Today we're talking about Thor's Day, and we're talking about the strength of the god Thor. Now, many don't understand that physical power comes from mental power. The physical form is not capable of true life-changing power without the mind being there first. It is the mind that drives the physical form and powers us up and does all those things. So in that way, we must have the mental strength of Thor. Now, many of us say, oh, what does that look like? What does that mean? How does that translate into our everyday living? Great question. And the answer is we need to focus. We need to teach ourselves how to be in charge of what we think and what we feel. And we do that by small moments. We take small moments of intrinsic reflection or meditation, and we focus on not feeling the way we don't want to. Sometimes energies moving around in the universe, sometimes they enter our psyche or thought process. They enter our thought process, and they may be really contrary to what we want to feel. Now, sometimes these influential energies are brought by other peoples, other spirits, the deities themselves. Many times what we find is individuals who are maybe accidentally struck. When I say accidentally, what I mean is accidental to us. The universe has the plan. The universe has the season. It's going through its normal things. But we didn't intend to go there. We didn't intend to be at that moment in time where that energy was being transferred from one point to another for whatever reason. Now, we have to remember, negative energies do not exist in the universe other than where humankind creates it. Humankind is the only existence in all of existence that can create negative energy. Now, I have made many comments before about us being like a leaf. Us being like a leaf against or connected to the great tree of life, the great center of the 9 realms, Yggdrasil. And I have paralleled a leaf attached to a branch on the Yggdrasil. This means that when we focus on negative energies and we're really just becoming very negative all the way through, that negative energy gets transmitted back into Yggdrasil in the same way that positive energy does. And I guess the easiest way to say it, to view it, to see it in our mind, is that, remember, at the base of Yggdrasil, at its roots, are 3 wells, and those 3 wells feed Yggdrasil nutrients and water and energy to sustain its life. And at the same time, Yggdrasil is not pushing away, it is equalizing those pools of water with the experiences within it. This means that all of the life forms that exist in all the 9 realms all push their experiences back into Yggdrasil, which ends up back in this pool, this well. Our negative experiences and negative energies can be fed there too. In much the same way as in the physical realm, as in the pool of Yggdrasil, or in the well of Urd, I should say. Because there is enough neutral and positive energy within the pool, within the well, it offsets, or it draws out that negativity and neutralizes it in the collection. Same thing happens in physical life. We see some life form spewing negativity, spewing negative energy, and yet there's enough energy around them to more or less neutralize that negative energy from building up in the world, in the cosmos, in the physical plane. That does not include it building up in each of us, right? So if we are involved in a scenario where you have someone spewing negative energy and we receive that negative energy directly, we're a little different than the universe. The universe can kind of absorb it and dissipate it, but our physical form takes this negative energy in and begins a cycle of spin. So remember, when I said that negative, all energy comes into our form, and it starts a circle, and then everything that's rubbing on that circle is going to slowly be eroded. So if it's positive light energy that's on the border, that's going to slowly become neutral and then ultimately become negative. So it'll slowly build in negativity. Now, that spin cycle, that circle that we're now creating of negative energy is emitted from us. So it's like it becomes more or less our beacon as to people in other spiritual entities, other physical entities, other deities, always interacting with us. They're going to get this negative energy from us. So that's where the strength of Thor comes into play. Thor while had an immense physical strength, going back to the beginning of our conversation today, physical strength is not available without mental strength. You must have mental strength to then focus your body to create this strength. So, thereby meaning that Thor had an immense mental strength as well. And he was capable of managing those energies that would attempt to influence him one way or another. There are some great tales of Thor really kind of being able to see through the plots and the schemes that Loki always presented. Always up to something. And Thor, for the most part, could see through that. Why? Because he didn't allow the influences to sway him one way or another. This is the mental fortitude that we need to have to keep away negative energies, to keep away the influential energies that are unwanted. And you are pretty darn good at it, if you think about it. Think about it for a minute. In a 24-hour period, how much of that time have you spent, influenced by these negative energies? Well, even if you just said, well, I spend most of my day that way. Okay. So we'll say, just for sense of a math problem here, that's a third of the day. A third of the day is spent sleeping. A third of the day is spent depressed, we'll say. A third of the day, however, is spent in wonder. You have questions, why do I feel this way? Why is this going on? Why is this happening? Why is that person over there doing this? Why is that person over there doing that? So you're inquisitive. You're drawing energy from the universe in that eighth of it, or a third of a day. So you've got the lion's share of your day where you're not negative, right? We're just doing simple math here. This is simple math. So what's to say that we don't move that, we don't focus at moving that bar up just a little to, instead of being a third, now only a quarter of our day is spent that way. Now, instead of having a fight for mental supremacy lasting a 24-hour period, now we've got it down to 6 hours. 6 hours that we need to focus at repelling or denying negative energies and cautious of influential energies. Now, most of the time when we think about depression, we think about anger, and we think about people who spend a lot of time angry or frustrated or depressed or whatever. It's because of influences. It's influential energy. Influential energy means that someone close by, or maybe not, is sending energy to us that creates this emotion. It may be, through our physical sensory input. It may be through our spiritual input. It could be anywhere. The key is many of us have forgotten how to engage that part of our brain that says, no more. I don't want it. We fall victim to the fates. And the fates, of course, just guide us along. They don't, neither here nor there to them. So it is up to us then to control. Now, originally we just spoke of 6 hours. 6 hours that we have to maintain focus of mental control, of mental barriers, of mental borders that keep people and energies from entering into our thought process. So, how do we do that? I've said many times on this show, on other shows, we start small. Start by finding, during those 6 hours, and it's very beneficial to start early in those 6 hours. Find something, however way you can, that brings you joy. True joy. Not pacification, not, anything else. We want to find those things that bring us joy by seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. All of these things, each little thing, find 5 things. Start with, if you absolutely are struggling to make it back to, and those 6 hours are pure hell for those monotheists amongst us, you start by finding several things that bring you joy. What's going to happen is when you dedicate your mind, remember now you're focusing on finding that energy, finding joy, finding peace, finding happiness. Okay? You've brought your whole consciousness down to and you're looking just for those things. What you're doing at this point is you're training your brain. If you're diligent about it, if you're honorable and diligent about searching for these things, your brain begins to get trained to look only for those things. Now you're beginning to take control of the influential energies that may come into your brain. Yeah, that's all well and good. It's whatever. But I'm looking for this, right? So again, we've brought the consciousness down to a focal point, and we're focusing on seeking those things that bring us joy. When I was expanding my consciousness after I had left the monotheistic practice, I studied under a wonderful, gifted man who was a shaman in Asia, and we many times we spoke. And what he taught me, among many other things, was he used to have a saying, and it went, "Seek and ye shall find. Rest and you will be found." What this meant, as I would later learn, was when we focus our brain to actively seeking something, we'll find it. If we seek peace, if we seek joy, if we seek harmony, if we seek love, those types of things, we'll find it. Because it's out here. The energy is all around us. Right? If we seek division, segregation, hate, pain, suffering, we'll find those things too, because they too are equally out here in the realm. If we choose to do nothing, if we choose to just roll with the tide, we can expect to be influenced and changed in ways that we don't want to be. Now, people always ask me, what if I've already been changed? What if the energies have already infested in my consciousness? And what if I can't get out of it? You can. Your spirit, and hence its bonding to this physical form, are designed, are orchestrated in such a way that our natural state is that of joy and happiness and contentment. That's our natural desired state. Everything else conflicts against that. Influential energies, negative energies, all of these other things that try to pull us off the path one way or another, they are going against what we were designed to do, to be. One must be very vigilant as we interact with friends and family, colleagues, for toxicity, toxic words, toxic interactions are the passing of negative energies. Regardless how friendly they are, how fun they are, whatever, they're toxic. And hence, they have a small fraction of negative energies. And those negative energies will begin to build up in the mind. Right? In much the same way as we've heard thousands of times, where people are told, even from a young age, they're not worthy, they can't do this, they can't do that, there's no way they're ever going to amount to anything. All of these very negative phrases. And those little nuggets of toxicity build up in the brain. They create a negative environment. But we have a choice. We can choose to disregard them, to take away their emotional power, to strip them of their influence in our thought process. We can make that choice. We always have a choice. Sometimes these choices may be more difficult. The path may not be as easy, but the path is more sure. There's no slipping and sliding and bad rocks and all the things that come with bad paths. You can be assured of each step along your journey. So while it may seem more difficult to be positive, to be joyful, it is a much more firm path at which to walk. And each of us has the power to do this. Each of us. Many have asked me, what has changed since the times of antiquity to now? Well, I can tell you, it's communication. It's not communication with this. And it's really not communication with these. It's communication with that. With our heart. That's what's changed. We have taken the emotional interchange between two people out of the equation. We have forgotten how to communicate. an example when we have a colleague at work that's very negative towards us and very very toxic. Why not talk to him and say why? Help me to understand. Help us to we don't have to be a couple. We're simply being friendly at work. I understand that you've had a bad day and that many things are challenging you, but do you have to push that energy to me? And see where the conversation goes. See how much that other person is willing to admit. This is the communication, the level of communication that I speak of. We've forgotten that. It now becomes an email, very cold, very distant, that says, hey, knock it off. What does that do? Nothing. So, understanding our influences and the influences around us is a very important part to achieving our mental space. And Thor is the greatest example of this. For he didn't allow negative energies to conquer him. Even though he was in negative situations quite a bit, thanks to his stepbrother Loki. He could have been very negative, but he chose not to be. And again, we all have a choice. Today is Thor's Day. I hope you will exercise your mental strength to repel the influences that may be affecting you in a negative way. Seek joy, seek peace, seek harmony, seek love, and you'll find it. Until tomorrow, my friends, where we will celebrate, yes, the great goddess Freya. Until then, my friends, be well. And be sure to check out our website, akulfhefnar.com, where you can find our daily readings, our daily rune readings, as well as links to all of these wonderful opportunities for you to grow, for you to learn, and for you to help others. Remember, your learning equals me learning. So we all learn together. All right, my friends. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thor's Day, and we will see you again tomorrow. Love and light.